What's going on, everybody? Blaze here. In today's video, I'm going to be highlighting my top 3 SSF or HCSSF League starter builds for Path of Exile 2's new patch 0.4, The Last of the Druids. All 3 of these builds were incredibly powerful in patch 0.3, and yet somehow avoided getting nerfed to shreds in the 0.4 patch notes. I'll be introducing them, giving a short breakdown of how the skills and ascendancies work. We'll also go through any changes to the related support gems and items that have impacted these builds as well. Just a heads up, guys, this video is based on post-patch note changes for patch 0.4, but pre-passive tree changes, so things are subject to change. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Build number 1, Essence Drain and Contagion Lich. Why aren't more people talking about how good Essence Drain and Contagion are? I feel like this absolutely deadly combo dodged a bullet in 0.4, completely avoiding getting mentioned in the 0.4 patch notes, while also having some buffs apply in the form of Chain 3 getting improved. I think Lightning Arrow and Rod took the spotlight so that Essence Drain and Contagion could maneuver through the shadows undetected. Let's break it down. For those of you who don't know, Essence Drain and Contagion, or better known as ED Contagion, and no, not that ED, are a combination of 2 chaos and duration spells that work extremely well for clearing packs of monsters faster than Jonathan Rogers can say effectively. The way it works is simple. After casting Contagion on a monster, Essence Drain is used to fire a projectile to that monster and deal significant chaos damage to it, which in turn will kill it quickly and allow Contagion to spread. Spreading Contagion after a monster dies resets its duration on other monsters and increases its damage every time it spreads. With regards to changes, the only thing I could really find that impacts this build is the change to the support gem Chain 3, which now adds an additional time to chain, previously +1 and now it's +2, which is a small but important buff to the damage output of Essence Drain. The Magnified Area 2 support gem was also changed and no longer causes the supported skill to deal less damage, which is also a nice buff to Contagion as well. 2 minor nerfs that are happening indirectly that will affect this build are any minor nerfs to Energy Shield and any nerfs to monster density, which can directly affect the spreading and increased damage of Contagion. Other than that, it's business as usual, and this can still be combined with Dark Effigy, Despair, and Bone Storm to absolutely shred the campaign into the endgame. This combo really shines for HCSSF on the Lich Ascendancy, which was also untouched in the 0.4 patch notes, despite being the most played Ascendancy in Hardcore and Hardcore SSF by the end of 0.3. The Lich is incredibly tanky due to its reliance on Energy Shield, which is the best scaling defensive layer in the game right now. It also has those really important Ascendancy nodes, like the flat 20% increased Energy Shield boost, along with the 100% increased effect of an extra socketable jewel, which could and should result in an additional 40% increased Energy Shield with other important modifiers. It also has Eternal Life, which allows your life to not be impacted while you have Energy Shield, and combined with Aziri's Disdain unique helmet, this actually cancels out the negative of this helmet, which is the 10% of damage bypasses Energy Shield and will just provide you with a massive Energy Shield boost. I'm seriously thinking about League starting this build. It's just too strong. If you're looking to get some inspiration for a softcore Essence Drain Contagion build, check out my friend Dead Rabbit's guide on Mobalytics that breaks down everything very nicely. There's also a Chinese player who I can't pronounce the name of, who went from level 1 to tier 15 maps in 5 hours and change using ED Contagion, which is absolutely absurd. For hardcore, my pal Salty Tofu hit level 100 in HCSSF in 0.3. Congratulations, by the way. That's an insane achievement, especially after dying at level 99 and having to run it back. I've dropped all these resources in the video description, and with that, let's move on to build number 2. Shield Wall and Fortifying Cry Warrior. This build really became a strong contender in 0.3, and I was also surprised it slid through the cracks in the 0.4 patch notes without any nerfs. It focuses specifically on using Fortifying Cry to destroy shield walls for massive and satisfying AoE damage, Defensively, despite life scaling being poor, you can still achieve a very high effective hit pool through layering of armor, elemental absorption, and block. Let's break it down. For those of you who don't know, Shield Wall is a shield attack that smashes the ground with your shield harder than you smashing the like button, creating a wall of stone. This can protect you from enemy attacks, but more importantly, it can be destroyed by your slams, war cries, and shield charge, which deals 100% more damage. The damage of this skill also scales with the armor value of your shield, as well as quality increases. Fortifying Cry is a war cry skill that can destroy shield walls. It also grants Guard, which is a buff that creates an extra buffer for your character that absorbs damage, as well as triggering Shield Wave. Shield Wave is a damaging shockwave that is triggered after subsequent shield attacks do damage after using Fortifying Cry. With regards to changes, I honestly didn't see too many things in the 0.4 patch notes that really affected this build in a major way. Shield Charge did get a small damage buff, and there are some small buffs to the lineage support gems Uruk's Smelting and Rigwald's Ferocity, which are utilized in this build, but overall, this build should be still extremely strong going into 0.4 and should smash through the campaign into the endgame. This build can really work on any ascendancy for Warrior. Titan, Warbringer, or the Smith of Katava are all viable options, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. I think Titan is an all-around solid choice, offering more life, armor, and increases to all these small passive nodes. Not to mention the prison wallet for all of those annoying precursor tablets. The 0.4 buffs to the Smith of Katava actually make it very appealing for a tankier and safer choice in hardcore, with internal layer providing 100% reduction to crit damage taken, and heat proofing making you unaffected by all damaging ailments, which is huge. If you're looking for some inspiration for a softcore shield warrior build, nobody comes close to my buddy Lext. He's a shield warrior Giga Chad and knows all the ins and outs of this archetype like few others do. Karn also has a really great shield wall build that he crushed with in 0.3 as well. For hardcore, I've attached a PoE 2 ninja of HDB_TT's level 97 Titan built on HCSSF with the 57k effective HP pool, which looks pretty dope. All of these resources are linked in the video description. Alright, let's move on to our final build. Build number 3, Explosive Grenade Tactician, Deadeye, or Witch Hunter. Grenades is an extremely strong league starter, which got a lot better in 0.3 due to the improved two-handed crossbow damage scaling. While Nova Projectile's support gem will be nerfed in 0.4, I do think that grenades will still stand extremely strong as a powerful build option for range players to destroy the campaign into the endgame. Let's break it down. For those of you that don't know, Explosive Grenade is a projectile attack skill that fires a grenade that detonates after a short duration to deal significant fire damage. The duration can be bypassed by shooting Explosive Shot, which causes any grenades in its area of effect to instantly detonate when fired. Explosive Grenade can also be socketed into Mortar Cannon, which raises a ballista totem to automatically fire the socketed grenade skill with a significantly slower rate of fire and cooldown. With regards to changes, as I mentioned earlier, Nova Projectiles did receive a nerf, but it should still be usable even with its new additional cooldown. The Constricting Command Viper Cap unique item also received a slight nerf, with the new minimum monster limit of 1 to be surrounded instead of 0. Although this shouldn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. The Mortar Cannon did receive a nice buff in the form of the additional 10% damage gained as fire from 15 up to 25. Something that looks super strong and very promising is stacking immobilization and immobilization damage. There are various ways to increase this, from the unique gloves Sine Equo, which now increase immobilization damage. Some passive tree notables including Fearful Paralysis, Eroding Chains, and Sitting Duck also have interesting implications for immobilization. Siege Cascade also now does 100% more damage to immobilized enemies, with quality increasing this further. The lineage support gem Arjun's Metal also got a huge buff and now grants 100% chance to load a bolt into all crossbow skills after dealing a killing blow with a supported skill, up from previously only 35%. Did somebody say infinite ammo? I'm probably missing some stuff here, but this is what really stood out to me the most regarding grenades and the crossbow. This build really shines on Tactician or Deadeye. However, if you're playing hardcore, I think Witch Hunter is super viable as well. This is even more true in 0.4, as the Ceremonial Ablution Ascendancy node now grants Sorcery Ward to protect you against physical and chaos damage as well as elemental damage, which adds quite a bit more defensive capabilities. Defensive wise, with Sorcery Ward as a Witch Hunter, you can reach upward of 40k effective HP, which is pretty significant. If you're looking for some inspiration for your 0.4 grenade league start, go check out my pal Localhole, who created a really strong grenade Deadeye build for 0.3. For hardcore, check out this build by Wee Zai, who hit level 97 in HCSSF using grenades and has a 43k effective HP pool. I'll also share some speedruns by Guy That Dies, who is a super skilled campaign speedrunner and has won races using grenades and the mercenary. All of these resources are linked in the video description. Alright everybody, that wraps it up for my top 3 best SSF or HCSSF League starter builds for 0.4. I'll be playing around with one of these starters to get myself situated in the league, then move into playing around with shapeshifting, either as an Ice Wolf on Invoker or a Fire Bear Smith of Katava. Stay tuned for a video covering that build in the future. Despite being disappointed in the lack of endgame changes and reworks, I'm still very excited to jump in to the last of the Druids League and check out what GGG have been cooking for us in 0.4. So, what are you going to be league starting in 0.4? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more PoE 2 content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.